Christopher Balkran, host of the Open Minds show right here on YouTube. Folks, if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button and subscribe. In my latest podcast with Jessica Vaughn, Director of Policy at the Center for Immigration Studies, we talked about the H1B visa program in the United States. Now, folks, what's interesting about the H1B visa program, it's a visa program that's geared towards migrants coming to the United States to fill labor shortages in specific industries, healthcare, agriculture, and the tech sector. In fact, the majority of H1B visas are for the tech sector, approximately 60-ish% of all H1B visas. Now, these are for software engineers, technicians working in the tech space, specifically in Silicon Valley. But what's interesting about the H1B visa program is that there have been reports of H1B visa holders being paid substantially lower than their American counterparts, to the tune of 40 to 50% lower. Now, this is a very interesting policy and idea that has been proposed because what Jessica Vaughn has mentioned, the architects of these visa programs are actually not interested in immigration for the sake of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but instead are interested for cheap, inexpensive, and exploitative labor. Now, what's fascinating, folks, is as I dug into it, I found more and more cases of companies like Disney, Facebook, Google, and others that have openly utilized H1B for their own workers. In fact, Disney in 2015 brought in H1B visa holders and let go of American workers before they were let go, had to train the H1B visa holders on their jobs. And so it's a cost-cutting measure clearly by companies that are using H1Bs for cheap, exploitative labor. Now, of course, there's also the other side, that it's a pathway to citizenship, but that's not always the case. In fact, I posed the question to folks on YouTube, and I would encourage you to check out my YouTube video with my full interview with Jessica. So if you check out my video with Jessica Vaughn, my full interview, there's a person there in the comments who talks about their husband being an H1B visa holder and then later finding out from their coworkers that they were being paid 50% less than their coworkers. What's also interesting, folks, is Facebook was accused after a DOJ investigation about H1B visa exploitation, and Facebook settled out of court to the tune of $14.25 million. So what's interesting here, folks, is while we hear politicians talk about more and more immigration as a form of diversity, equity, inclusion, of extending an olive branch to those from around the world who are coming to build their lives here in America and Canada, what we're seeing instead is these are done for cheap, exploitative labor. And that's the perplexing question that I think people typically avoid in these discussions. In fact, Donald Trump was 100% against the H-1B visa program in 2016, saying that this is very detrimental to American workers. In 2024, 2025, he said that he's in favor of the H-1B visa program. He even said that he uses the H-1B visa program holders on his properties across the United States. And so this begs the question, folks, is in fact the H-1B visa program undercutting American workers, bringing in cheap and exploitative labor? And what do we ask of our politicians in the United States and abroad, what their real intentions are behind immigration policy? Is it in fact to add to the social fabric of our countries, or is it in fact a ploy to bring in the best labor from across the world, but to be exploitative in how we treat them here? Let me know what you think about the H-1B visa program in the comment section below, folks. Listen to my full podcast with Jessica Vaughn, and I will definitely catch you in the next one.